All right, let's just jump right in. Look, if you've ever worked in IT, you know the feeling, right? Trying to manage a huge, spread-out infrastructure, it's like trying to conduct an orchestra where every musician is in a different building. It gets complicated, and it gets complicated fast. Well, today we're talking about a new tool that's designed to solve exactly that, to bring everyone onto the same stage with one person leading.
And that really leads to a huge question. What do you do when your infrastructure starts to outgrow the very tools you use to manage it? It's that moment, when the systems you build to keep everything running are suddenly the things slowing you down. It's a good problem to have. In a way, it means you're successful, you're growing. But the big question is, how on earth do you keep control of it all without going crazy?
And this right here, this is the heart of the scaling challenge. As your data centers spread out, maybe to new locations, or hey, even just across more racks in the same building, you start running into the same problems over and over again. And let me tell you, they can be pretty painful.
So first up, you've got what I like to call dashboard chaos. You know what I'm talking about? You have a dozen browser tabs open, you're logging into this cluster, then that one, trying to build this mental map of what's actually going on everywhere. There's no single source of truth. It's just this constant, exhausting juggling act. And that chaos, it has real consequences. Because when you're jumping between all those different screens, doing things by hand, the chance that you'll make a mistake just goes through the roof. A tiny typo, one wrong click, and suddenly a simple routine task turns into a full-blown emergency.
And of course, all of this creates just massive security blind spots. Think about it. If you can't see everything at once, how are you supposed to secure it? It's like trying to guard a fortress by peeking through one tiny window at a time. You're just going to miss something important.
Okay, so that's the problem, right? It's a mess of different dashboards, a ton of risk, and it's just not efficient. So the obvious question is, what if there was a better way? What if you could bring some order to all that chaos? Well, that's exactly the promise behind this idea of a new command center. The answer is something the industry calls a single pane of glass, and the idea is actually super simple but really powerful. It's one dashboard, one single interface that gives you a complete live view of your entire infrastructure. No more tab switching, no more guessing what's going on, just one place to see and control everything. And that brings us to the main event. This is where Proxmox is stepping in with their answer to this whole scaling problem. It's called the Proxmox Data Center Manager 1.0. And yeah, you guessed it, it's designed from the ground up to be that exact single pane of glass for the whole Proxmox ecosystem. So what's the mission here? Well, it's pretty straightforward. Bring everything together. We're talking your Proxmox VE clusters and your backup servers, all under one roof. The goal is to make all those daily admin headaches just simpler. And at the same time, unlock some really advanced stuff that was just too complicated or way too risky to even try before. All right, but a cool mission statement is one thing. You need the features to back it up, right? So let's dig into what this thing can actually do. This is the fun part. This is where things get supercharged.
And we have got to start with the killer feature, the main event. You can now move a live virtual machine from one cluster to a completely different one with zero downtime. Let that sink in. This isn't just a cool tech trick. This is a game changer for business continuity. It means you can do major hardware maintenance or shift workloads around right in the middle of the workday, and nobody, not a single user, will ever know.
And look how simple they've made it. This is an insanely complex process behind the scenes, but for the user, it's boiled down to just a few clicks. You literally just pick the VM that's running, choose where you want it to go in a different cluster, click migrate, and that's it. The service doesn't even flicker. It's totally seamless. It's like magic. Okay, so that's the big wow feature. But what about the day-to-day stuff? The things you do 100 times a day? Well, just look at this comparison. Think about finding one specific VM. Before, you'd have to log into cluster 1. Nope, not there. Log out, log into cluster 2. Nope, you could be doing that for minutes, maybe even hours. Now, you just go to one global search bar, type what you're looking for, and boom, you find it in seconds. The difference is just, it's night and day. And we're not talking about some basic search box here. This is a full-blown, powerful search that's actually inspired by GitHub's query language. So if you're a developer or a sysadmin, you know exactly what that means. It means you can get super specific, filter by resource type, by its status, by custom tags, whatever you want, to find the exact thing you need, like right now.
But the centralized power doesn't stop with search. Not even close. You also get really detailed role-based access control, so you decide exactly who can do what. You get one single place to handle all your system updates for everything.
All your task histories are in one spot, which makes auditing a breeze. And you even get a unified command line shell to access any remote machine right from the manager. It's all right there.
So what's making all this possible? Under the hood, this thing is built on a seriously modern, high-performance stack. The core is written in Rust, and if you know Rust, you know that means it's fast and secure. The UI is also built with Rust frameworks, so it's super responsive. And it's all running on a modern Linux kernel and the latest Debian. The point is, this isn't some old tech with a new coat of paint. This is built from the ground up for performance.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit for the final takeaway here. Because the tool like this, it's more than just a list of cool features. It really represents a whole philosophy about where infrastructure management is headed.
And I think this quote from Proxmox CO just nails it. The words that jump out are openness, interoperability, and freedom of choice. See, the point isn't to lock you into their system forever. The whole idea is to give you the freedom and the tools to build and change your setup however you need to, as your business grows.
And this chart really shows you the two different worlds. On one side, you've got the old proprietary model, which almost always leads to vendor lock-in. You're stuck, you're restricted, and you're always worried about licenses. But on the other side, you have this open ecosystem. The focus isn't on licenses, it's on solving problems. It's about being adaptable and having freedom in the long run. It's a totally different way of thinking.
So that leaves us with one big question to chew on. We all know our infrastructure is just going to get more complicated, more spread out, from the main data center all the way to the edge. So is a tool like this, a unified open source command center, is it just a nice luxury anymore? Or is it becoming the new absolute standard for actually staying in control? I think that's a question we're all going to have to answer pretty soon.